Hey YouTubers, thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna give you an update on the Volkswagen thing here. In this video, what I'm gonna do is cover body filler and glazing compound. In my previous videos, I showed you how to weld, fabricate patches, weld them in, do some welding techniques, pulling out dents, doing relief cuts for collapsed areas. So check out my other videos on the bodywork, and then look at all my other videos on solar, hot rods, e-bikes. And then check out my playlist. I have a lot of playlists you may be interested in on different topics. But as you can see, a lot of progress on the Volkswagen thing. It's getting close to having the bodywork done. And then I can get on the mechanicals, drop the engine in, and get it running. So, but anyway, the doors are on. That was an accomplishment. I didn't video record how I did the doors. There's really nothing wrong with the doors other than just sanding them down, doing some acid etching primer, and then putting them back on again. So you can see they're pretty complete. So a good portion of this video I'm going to go into hyperspeed because it's just boring, the sanding and stuff, but to show you the progress. So I'm going to show you how to use proper body filler, and I'll use the hood as an example. Which was a real bear. A lot of dents, had to dolly out a lot of dents, and probably saw that in my previous videos. So anyway, let's get to it. Alright, what I'm doing is putting acid etching primer after I really sanded the hood really well, dollied out all the dents. And now what I'm doing is putting a very thin coat of Bondo Professional Gold filler on top, and then sanding it down to get any undulations out, any minor dents that I haven't dollied, any scratches, that sort of thing. But what I'm using is these longboard sanders, and I know I've showed it in my other YouTubes, but these boards are amazing. I got them from Eastwood, and they are made by AFS, I would imagine. And they use Stickum type, so this has glue on the back, sticks onto it. And I'm using 40 grit to knock it down really fast. And this foam board has like a piece of spring steel in it, and you can adjust. So on my other video, the Super Beetle had a lot of curves to it. So what I could do is pull these rods out, and it gives it some flex. But since I'm like a perfectly flat surface here, I have all three rods in it, as you can see, 1, 2, and 3. And that's how I'm doing it. So primarily I'm using this board. They sell them in different lengths. I have a small one with rods in it, and then this is my really long one. So the longer the board, the flatter the surface. So when you go to a car show and you look down the side of a car to see how straight it is, if they used a really long board, you won't typically see any waves into it. If they just used a palm type board, short, you're going to get all kind of waves in the body panel. So I'm using the medium sized one that I have right now. And in this case, going up and down and then going a crosshatch pattern. And what I'll do is at the final stages, when I go to 120 grit Stickum type sandpaper on here, I'll go to this long one and just work it with the long one. 120 grit, and that'll finish it up. So I just did this panel right in here, put a skim coat of Bondo Gold Professional filler on there, and just put it on rough. But one thing you want to do is wait till it starts hardening up, and so it's a little bit soft. You take a little bit left on your squeegee and just take your fingernail, put it in. So right now I'm penetrating a little bit. It's a little bit too soft yet. Let it cure a little bit, and then I'll start sanding it lightly. And what it's going to do, it's going to be very easy to knock this down. If I wait until it's hardened up all the way, it's going to be a bear, and you're going to be wearing your arms out trying to get it down. The other thing is you could take is a rough file, but this is flat enough where I'll just use my board sander. So it's not quite ready yet. I'll come back when it's just probably another 10 minutes, and it'll be just set up enough where I could sand it easy. Okay, let's see if this is about ready. Take your fingernail into one of the edges. I think it might be ready. And I think what I'm going to do is knock it down. I've got this file that I got, I think, from a yard sale for $5. I used the heck out of it. And just very lightly, maybe go down some of the rough spots. And you can see how the filler is just coming off. And just very lightly go at it. If you go too fast or too hard, you're going to start tearing it. You'll see the filler tearing away from the surface, and you don't want that. So just very light pressure. I think just knock down the rough stuff here all along. All right, looking good here. And as I go, I could feel it hardening up even more. So I think I'm ready for my longboard. Just lightly sand it now. You see how easy that is, just with one hand, very light pressure. And it's right at the right stage. So once you get some practice, you'll see what I mean doing this. But once you get this technique down, you're going to be doing some pretty nice work. So another trick is once you start filling up your sandpaper, this is 40 grit. Take another one of your boards and just slap it, and it'll basically knock the crud out of the pores. So another trick is when you're finished sanding, don't rely on your eyes. Use your straight board when sanding like I showed you. But take your palm of your hand and your fingertips and just go over the surface. And typically you'll feel any imperfections. Looking good, looking really good, right? Come on in here and take a look at this. Wow, this looks really, really good. Put this latch down. Man, that is straight. Working on the rims and tires now. So I got my tires ordered from Discount Tire, but I had just an assortment of rims in the back of the shop here for the Volkswagen, and decided by the time I got it sandblasted, powder coated, and did all that, it'd be cheaper probably just to buy 4 rims from J-Bugs. I think I paid $69. So wheels and tires in, man, they're looking good. Largest tire that I could put on this is a 205/75/15. This So I bought a tap on Amazon. This is a 12 millimeter for the older Volkswagens. So what I'm going to do is run this tap in to clean out all the crud out of the holes. So these are the old drums. I have a disc brake conversion kit that I'm going to be converting to once I get everything cleaned up in here. Main focus was getting all the body work done, which I'm close to having it done now. So, but anyway, I'm trying to lift up these wheels onto these drums, or the case the new one. These are called wheel hangers, and I got them on, I think it was eBay, and they're like $6 or $7. And I like getting 2 of them, and these are for 12 millimeter bolt holes. Also, they have the 14 millimeter, which if you have another car, newer car, you might want to pick some of those up. So what you're going to do is just thread them in the hole, and it's got like a knurled end on it, just like that. Thread it in. And now I have 2 pins. I don't have to be a magician to line these up now. Get it onto the pins. Slide the wheel on. Man, is that easy. And then go ahead and put your regular bolts in. So, and just thread these back out again and put your regular bolts in, you're good to go. So anyway, wheel hangers, I'll see if I can put it in the description. So one of the last steps in doing body work, other than just blocking and sanding quite a bit and using filler primer, is the glazing and spot putty. So you probably see this in the auto parts store, made by 3M. Works really good. And this is for very light scratches. I showed you how to just skim coat the surface of the hood, just with a skim coat of filler. I mean, like a 32 of an inch thick, maybe a little bit thicker, but you don't want to go any thicker on that. But after you've done your sanding, you're going to use your 40 grit like I showed. You're going to go up to 120. And then after that, you may still have some very small light scratches. And that's where the glazing and spot putty come in. Now, there are 2 types of this. I like using just the plain tube, and they also have the glazing and spot putty with a hardener, and I don't like using that. So be careful that you're not buying the stuff that has the hardener. I believe this is lacquer based, like the old red oxide we used to use for doing body work in the olden days. It cleans up easy with lacquer thinner, but there's the cap, the point. Pop it in like that, and you've got the hole ready to squeeze out. And then I like using these metal body filler squeegees, whatever, that I got at the auto parts store. You see them at Home Depot, and I'll try to put the link from Amazon too for these. They come in different sizes, and they are curved, so you have to be careful when you use them that the curved side is going to be the part that goes down and smooth out the body filler. Or you could use the plastic ones, kind of like I do. But anyway, see, you probably can't see this on camera, and I got the lighting on an angle, maybe skim it across it so it's pronounced a little bit, but there's just a really fine scratch, probably maybe like, a few thousandths of an inch. I don't know. It's not that deep. I could barely feel it with my fingernail. So what you're going to do is squeeze a little bit of this out of the tube, like so. Put it on the end, and then you're going to wipe it down the scratch. Let me see if I can get in closer on that. And you see it just leaves a little bit of a film on there, and that's what you want. All right. You don't want to glob this stuff on, or else it's not going to work. It's going to decay after a period of time. It's going to come out when you go to sand it. And since it's lacquer based, it dries extremely fast. So at the very end, going towards the end of your sanding process, just go over a couple of the pinholes or the little scratches you may have in there, and just put a really thin coat on there. Go back to your 120 grit, sand it again, prime it again, and you're going to be in good shape. So So I think that's it for the video. It's getting quite long here with all the other content I've got into it. I think I've got more than enough content to release another video on bodywork and the thing update here. So anyway, let's wrap it up for the night here. And if you have any comments or any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Leave it in the comment field. Please subscribe, ring the bell, hit the like button, all that good stuff. It helps my stats for my YouTube channel that I'm building. But or if you'd like to see something else regarding the restoration of this vehicle, leave it in the comment field, and it might give me an idea for maybe the next video content. So I think we're going to wrap it up, and thanks for watching.